It's funny, isn't it, how what you need from a car seems to change all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
One minute you're thinking practicality, maybe an SUV. The next, I don't know, something smaller for the city.
Yeah, and you want things to be predictable, especially costs. That's a big one.
Knowing your expenses month to month.
Exactly. And the old ways of owning or even traditional leasing, they're definitely being challenged by this need for, well, flexibility.
People want more options,
Yeah.
right? More control,
Definitely more control.
which is exactly what we're diving into today.
Ah, good transition.
We're taking a close look at flexible car leasing,
Hmm.
and specifically at a company called Instacar. We've got some of their intro documents, outlining their vision
Okay.
and what they offer. And we also have their sales manual.
Oh, interesting. That should give us a good peek behind the curtain how they actually talk to customers.
Right. So the mission here is to really understand how Instacar is trying to position itself. They seem to be aiming for more than just leasing.
Yeah, they talk about creating a, quote, liberating mobility service. So we want to explore what that actually means.
And how they're tackling some of those, let's call them pain points,
Mm-hmm.
like the high cost of new cars for, say, small businesses, or, the doubts people sometimes have about leasing deals or buying used.
Okay, so where should we start? Their big picture vision.
Yeah, let's do that. According to their documents, they want to be the ultimate automotive app and platform across Southeastern Europe.
Wow, okay, that's a bold statement. The ultimate, across a whole region.
It is. And they really lean into being the first fully digital, flexible leasing service there. That digital angle seems, well, fundamental.
It sounds like it. So it's not just the leasing itself, but the whole experience is digital.
Pretty much. They've branched into selling new cars, too. And it looks like everything leasing, buying, managing it all happens through their app.
So it's about managing your mobility within their ecosystem, basically.
Exactly. They want to be this leading mobility service provider offering complete and liberating solutions. It sounds quite aspirational.
Liberating. That suggests they're trying to fix frustrations that go beyond just, financing the car itself. What specific problems are they calling out?
Well, we touched on changing needs.
Yeah.
But they also explicitly mention negative customer service experiences.
Ah, yes. The classic automotive frustration for many.
Unfortunately, yeah. And they highlight the difficulty for SMEs, small and medium businesses, to access affordable new vehicles.
That's a really important point. SMEs often need reliable transport, but operate on, tight budgets.
Definitely. And then there's the perception issue around after sales for used cars, and just a general lack of trust sometimes in leasing companies or used car dealers.
Okay, those are some pretty significant hurdles. So how do they claim to solve these? What are their actual solutions?
Well, first off, they say you get all the usual benefits of traditional leasing.
Okay, the baseline.
But then they add this layer of flexibility. They have 4 different packages, varying in price, and crucially, how much flexibility you get. That seems key.
Right, the flexibility. And they mention you can change your vehicle at least once during the subscription.
Yeah, at least once, depending on the plan, which is, quite different from being locked into one car for years.
Huge difference. And what about the used cars they sell? They call them like new.
Like new. And checked at Instacar's own inspection points. They're clearly trying to build confidence there.
Yeah, tackling that trust deficit head on. I wonder how transparent they are about the vehicle history, though.
That's a good question. The documents don't detail that specifically. But the whole experience, buying or leasing, seems funneled through their app, the InstaDriver app.
Yes, the app. They make a big deal about being the first Greek leasing company with its own dedicated app.
They do. And it seems like the hub for their whole lease.buy-a-drive thing. The process sounds simple. Choose, upload documents, get approved, pay deposit, get the car. 3 steps.
So the app isn't just a nice to have, it's like central to how they operate.
Totally. And the features seem quite practical. You can monitor your contract, your vehicle details,
Transparency.
report incidents like damage or accidents directly through it, schedule repairs too.
Making the annoying stuff easier. That's smart. Accessing invoices, adding drivers. Doing that with a few taps instead of phone calls and paperwork.
Yeah, that's the idea. Convenience. Reducing that friction.
Okay, and reporting an accident sounds quite streamlined in the app, too.
It does. Declare it, upload photos, contact insurance or police if needed, arrange transport, book repairs.
Yeah.
It's all integrated.
Thinking through the whole life cycle, even the bad parts, makes sense.
Now, they also have some newer services popping up.
Yeah.
Like Drive Home.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Aimed at Greeks living abroad, right?
Exactly. have a car waiting for you when you land back in Greece.
Yeah.
Pretty clever niche service.
Seems very useful for that specific group. Avoids rental hassles or buying immediately. Fits the flexibility theme.
It does. And they're moving beyond just cars, too. Micromobility.
Ah, the e-bikes and scooters. Through acquiring Kineo.
Yes, Kineo, which is part of Auto Hellas. So now they have Instacar, e-bikes, bikes, scooters, e-patini, focusing on that sustainable urban travel trend.
Interesting diversification. Broadens their scope beyond traditional vehicles into wider mobility. Could strengthen their overall market position.
And then there's Instacar Buy. That's their used car offering.
Yeah.
Again, pushing the new angle.
With competitive pricing, financing options, and the after-sales support managed via the app again.
Yep, leveraging the app to build trust in the used market. Quality guarantees mentioned too.
Okay. And managing all this complexity, leasing, sales, micromobility, different plans, requires some serious back-end operations.
Which is where InstaFleet comes in, their own in-house developed platform.
Right, for fleet management, subscription handling, CRM, vehicle logistics. Building their own suggests they're really focused on efficiency and scalability.
Seems like it. It's probably what allows them to offer all these moving parts relatively smoothly. Okay, let's talk marketing. How are they getting the word out?
Well, they're spending significantly. $4 million annual budget mentioned.
That's substantial. And getting results, it seems. 2.9 million website visits.
Yeah, and huge social media numbers, 90 million impressions, over 120,000 followers. Plus, a lot of organic search interest, over 700,000 searches in a year.
So a strong digital push.
Wow.
But not just digital, right? They have some big sponsorships.
Correct. High-profile stuff. Instacar X PAO BC for the EuroLeague Final Four in 2024.
Big visibility there.
And a campaign with Aris BC as well. Basketball seems to be a key area for them.
Who do you reckon they're targeting with those basketball partnerships?
Well, sports like EuroLeague reach a pretty broad audience, often including business folks, families, aligns well with their potential leasing customers, both personal and business.
Makes sense. And they're using influencers too.
Yeah, collaborations mentioned with people like Face Gorda, Young Light, Anna Vissi, big followings there, tapping into different demographics, plus supporting Greek athletes generally. Seems like a multi-pronged approach.
Okay, so that's the company overview and marketing. Let's shift gears now to the sales manual. This should give us the nitty-gritty on how they sell this flexible leasing idea.
Right. The manual really frames leasing as a smart move if you value freedom over actual ownership.
Freedom and predictability.
Exactly. No resale worries, predictable monthly costs. They also push the professional image angle and cash flow benefits, especially for businesses.
Plus, getting newer models more often, and the tax perks for companies. Standard leasing benefits, but they package it well.
And they use these leasing personas to illustrate their target audience. 5 of them.
Ah, yeah, the personas. Let's run through those. They seem quite varied.
They do. First, the professional on the move needs reliability, flexibility, no admin hassle.
Okay. Then the family with a plan. Looking for dependability, stable costs, all-inclusive package.
Makes sense. Then, interestingly, the rent-a-car and VIP transfers owner needs a big flexible fleet, low capital outlay, predictable costs.
Catering to businesses that rely heavily on vehicles. Then there's Mr. Expenses and Returns.
Ah, yes, the practical SME owner. Focused on value, reliability, and those crucial tax benefits.
And finally, the on-the-go professional. Like a freelancer, valuing flexibility, freedom, clear costs.
It's a pretty broad spectrum they're trying to cover with these.
And the core pitch seems to be what's included in that single monthly payment.
Yeah, that's a big selling point. It's not just the car. It's a mixed insurance with an excess, mind you.
Right, important detail, the excess.
Tire changes, full maintenance, a replacement car if yours breaks down, 2147 roadside help, MOT and road tax paid, and access to the app.
Well, so like they say, you basically just pay for fuel.
Pretty much sums it up. And the core advantages they hammer home are no big down payment.
Huge difference from traditional leasing often.
That all-inclusive service bundle, the flexibility to change or return the car, quick approval within 24 hours, they claim. Fast.
And the tax benefits for businesses, writing off the whole lease costs.
Oh, okay. Now let's get into the 4 specific flexible packages. This is where it gets really interesting. First up, month to month.
Maximum flexibility, this one. Keep it a month, keep it longer, change it anytime, cancel anytime. No cancellation charges.
Sounds super flexible. What are the upfront costs?
Okay, there's a one-time registration fee. We'll come back to how that varies. Then the first month's subscription payment. and this thing called InstaStart.
InstaStart. What's that?
It's equal to 1 month's rent, but it's kind of returned. You get it back as a free 19th month if you stay that long.
Ah, okay. So an incentive to stick around even on the most flexible plan. Good for someone who really doesn't want commitment.
Exactly. Then package 2, the 12-month subscription.
Okay. More commitment, presumably a lower price.
Yep, lower monthly cost for committing to 12 months. You get 1 vehicle change allowed during that year. And you can opt for a down payment to lower the monthly rate even further.
And the upfront costs. Similar. Registration fee, first month's rent, and the InstaStart, which is still 1 month's rent here. But this time it's refunded at the end of the 12 months, assuming no outstanding charges.
What if you need to bail early?
Penalties. You lose the InstaStart refund, and you have to pay the difference between the cheaper 12-month rate you got and the higher month-to-month rate for all the months you used the car.
Ouch. So there's a real cost to breaking that commitment.
Right.
Makes sense. On to the 24-month subscription.
Right. Even lower monthly costs here, and a bit more flexibility within the term. You get 2 vehicle changes allowed over the 24 months.
2 changes. Okay. Same deal with optional down payment.
Yes. Optional down payment to reduce the monthly cost further, and you can renew. Upfront, registration, first month's rent, and InstaStart again. But now the InstaStart is equal to 2 months' rent.
2 months rent. Refundable at the end.
Refundable after 24 months, yes, if all clear. Early termination penalties are similar. Lose the InstaStart, pay the rate difference compared to the shorter plans you could have been on.
Okay. And the final one, the 36-month subscription.
This offers the lowest monthly subscription costs, the best value for money, as they put it. 36-month commitment.
Still get vehicle changes.
Yes. 2 changes allowed over the 3 years. Optional down payment, renewal possible, upfront, registration, first month's rent, and the InstaStart is now equal to 3 months' rent.
3 months. Refundable at the end.
Refundable after 36 months, yep, minus any charges. Early termination, lose the 3 months InstaStart, pay the rate difference versus the shorter plans. So best long-term price, but highest initial InstaStart and commitment.
It's interesting how that InstaStart scales up. It acts like a security deposit, but also locks you in more psychologically with a potential refund.
It does. It's a different feel than just a straight discount. Oh, and you mentioned the registration fee varies.
Right. It depends on the car's monthly rental price. It's €270 plus VAT for cars up to 1,500 month rent. Goes up to 500 plus VAT for cars over that. And it's lower for scooters, 100 plus VAT.
Okay, good detail to factor in. So the sales manual must also cover how to actually, well, sell this and handle questions.
It does. The script emphasizes personalized contact, understanding the customer's specific needs, private use, company use, mileage, etc.
Makes sense. Tailor the pitch.
Then highlight the Instacar benefits. Flexible plans, no big down payment, all-inclusive service, vehicle changes, tax perks for business.
The core advantages we discussed.
Exactly. And the call to action is often about limited availability and the fast approval process, encouraging quick document submission.
Classic sales tactic, creating a sense of urgency. What about common objections? How do they suggest handling those?
They address price concerns by stressing the no down payment and all-inclusive aspects. They offer to compare specific quotes if needed.
Okay, value over just sticker price. What about long delivery times?
Offer a temporary car of the same category.
Smart solution. And if someone wants to know the purchase price up front, if they decide to buy later?
They explain you can buy any time, and the price drops over time. But there's no pre-agreed price from the start.
Managing expectations there. What if someone balks at the InstaStart payment?
They just clarify it's a refundable initial payment, not an extra fee you lose.
And wanting to see the car physically, since they're mostly online?
Explain the online model, offer detailed photos, and mention the option to swap the car if you're not happy after delivery.
Okay, trying to overcome that lack of a showroom. Mileage limits.
Offer extra mileage packages at what they call a low cost. And they clarify cars are new or like new, providing mileage details and photos.
What about business expensing? Confirming the tax situation.
Yes, they confirm the entire lease amount, including VAT, is a business expense.
That's crucial for SMEs. Payment methods. Cash.
Nope, only bank transfer accepted.
Okay. Taking the car abroad.
Yes, possible with 10-15 days notice for insurance approval and getting a green card, which has a variable cost.
Adding a young or newly licensed driver.
Possible, but there's an extra insurance cost, 35 plus VAT per month for drivers under 21 or with less than a year's experience.
Okay. Choosing the car color.
Yes, if available. Subject to stock.
Where does servicing happen?
At authorized dealerships. following the manufacturer's schedule. All booked via the Instacar app.
Okay, app integration again. What if someone wants to pay a whole year up front for a discount?
They suggest making a down payment instead, which achieves the goal of lowering the monthly rate.
Can you add a down payment later, mid-contract?
No, not on an active contract. They suggest maybe starting with the month-to-month plan if you're unsure and might want to adjust later.
Flexibility up front. Changing the monthly payment date.
It's generally fixed, but they say they might discuss arrangements for serious reasons. Case by case, sounds like.
How many drivers can you add?
Up to 3 usually. At no extra charge, maybe more for companies, needs discussion. Change is done via the app.
Can a non-employee be a driver on a company lease?
Yes, seems so. Managed through the app.
Just to reiterate on the InstaStart, definitely refundable.
Yes, refundable at the end of the fixed-term plans, 12, 24, 36 months, if no outstanding charges. For month-to-month, it's that free 19th month deal.
And the early termination penalties are clearly laid out for each fixed plan.
Yes, loss of InstaStart plus paying the rate difference. They detail the required documents, too, for individuals and different business types, even those coming from abroad.
Comprehensive. Do they cater to rent-a-car businesses specifically?
Yes, they have specialized programs. A dedicated partner contacts those clients.
Delivery options. To your home or office.
Yep, Insta delivery.
Yeah.
Charges apply, especially outside Attica or for weekend airport drop-offs.
And service if you're outside Athens.
Yes, they have options. Either pick up from Athens locations or use Insta delivery again.
Wow. They seem to have anticipated a lot of questions in that manual.
They really have. It's very thorough. Now, quickly on the mileage packages. There are standard allowances.
Right. 20,000 kilometers a year for cars and vans. 14,400 kilometers for scooters.
But you can upgrade by extra mileage up front.
Yes, for an extra cost based on the car's value. And there are per kilometer charges if you go over your allowance without upgrading, again varying by car value.
And it looks like they actively encourage buying the upgrade packages.
Yeah, makes sense. It's cheaper for the customer than paying per kilometer overage fees later and gives the customer better cost certainty. Avoids surprise bills.
Smart. Okay, last piece. The website. Quick overview.
That's pretty clean. Sections for leasing, buy, InstaRide. InstaRide wasn't in our docs, was it?
No, it wasn't. Interesting that it's prominent on the site. Maybe e-bikes and scooters fall under that? Or something else?
Could be. Also, drive home, FAQs, contact, standard stuff. They push the 3-step online leasing process hard on the homepage.
Making it look easy. Lots of vehicles shown, different price points, and they really hammer home being the first 100% online flexible leasing company.
The Find a Vehicle section covers leasing, buying the new ones with warranty, drive home for expats, and the e-bikes, all in one place.
And social proof positive customer reviews, high Google ratings featured prominently.
Always helps build trust. They also mention investor backing and recent funding.
Reassurance about stability. And the EuroLeague sponsorship gets another mention. They repeat the initial cost too, registration fee, refundable InstaStart.
And summarize the core benefits again. Traditional leasing perks plus easier process, flexibility to return change, free cancellation on month-to-month, lots of car brands listed, and a final plug for the InstaDriver app.
Yeah, the website ties it all together nicely.
Seems like it.
So bringing this all together, it's clear Instacar is positioning itself as this modern, flexible alternative, away from traditional ownership or rigid leasing.
Yeah, the emphasis is really on that all-inclusive service, the flexibility in the contracts, and managing it all through their app. That seems to be the core package.
Combining flexibility, transparency, service, and digital convenience, addressing those common frustrations with contracts and unpredictable costs.
And aiming at a pretty wide audience, too. Individuals wanting freedom, businesses needing adaptable fleets, even niche groups like expats and the micro-mobility crowd.
It really feels like they're trying to cover a lot of bases.
Which leads to, a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Go on.
With the traditional car ownership model facing, let's be honest, new pressures, financially and practically, and with digital services becoming the norm, how might flexible leasing, like what Instacar offers, genuinely reshape our whole relationship with personal transport going forward?
That convenience, that adaptability. Yeah. It's definitely appealing compared to long-term commitments.
It certainly presents an interesting alternative path.
Something to think about. If you're curious to learn more, you can check out Instacar's website or look into other flexible options out there. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.